How long are we allowed to do this recording? And when I'm live, you're just getting every bit of raw piece of me. So
This mental friction, clearly it's been broken. Borderline tragic, it's so dramatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Crash City. I am here with the one, the only Thickles, back
Hi.
from DreamHack. First and foremost, where did Thickles come from?
Well, actually, originally my name was Pickles, and as ironic as it is, I actually hate pickles, but I have this guy. It says Pickles. It was my first tattoo ever. And I apparently my butt. So my chat came up with the name Thickles. I put it into Call of Duty, on Modern Warfare 19, you put it in, and like if it's profanity, it'll tell you, no, you can't do that. So I made a bet. I figured it was inappropriate. And I said, if they let me change my name to Thickles on COD, I'll rebrand everything. Well, sure as shit, here we are.
Oh, I love that. And your community overall, like how long have you been streaming? Because I know it hasn't been that long, and you have grown a huge following in such a short amount of time.
It actually has been like 6 years. But I feel like I've had to continuously start over multiple times because I originally started on Mixer, and not a lot of people know that name. And some people hear that name, they're like, but I started my original community on accident when I was playing on my Xbox. I was playing Fortnite with my friend. We went live on Mixer. And then obviously Mixer shut down and I gave up on streaming for about a year. I was like, well, that was fun while it lasted. And one of my friends finally convinced me to start back up on Twitch, and we kind of just took off from there. I definitely have had good years, bad years. I want to say that 2025 has probably been my best year.
Yeah, so I saw, you were part of Twitch, but it seems like you have a preference to Kick. Why is that? Like what makes you favor Kick more?
How long are we allowed to do this recording? No, I no hate to Twitch, except for there's a lot of hate for Twitch. They just don't take care of their creators. As most people know, it's not user friendly. Let me say it this way. It's not, how do I put this without hurting somebody's feelings? There's no way you're going to get discovered on Twitch. Like there's just no way. And some of the things that people do to get discovered, you're instantly going to get banned. It's not funny. Twitch doesn't like it. It's TOS. But my biggest means for swapping from Twitch to Kick was 100% the 95-5 split. Originally, when I first started streaming on Twitch, I'm pretty sure it was like an 80-20 split or like a 70-30 split. And I'm learning now, because obviously I rarely stream on Twitch, that they changed that. They've changed it to where you have to hit certain measurements to unlock the 70-30 split.
Yes.
Yeah, not my preference. Kick has been more of a home. I've enjoyed my content way more on Kick than I ever did on Twitch. The only thing that I do miss about Twitch is their clipping mechanism. That I can say.
I'm surprised that you don't have somebody that already clips for you.
The clip button hardly ever works. We go to clip it and it goes, Botrix is down. And I'm like, okay.
Just silently just screams inside.
Every time. I definitely lack on the clip aspect. I don't necessarily push a ton of my live stream content onto my other social medias. I have a very different way of looking about like your content and how I grow my community. There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, like you should be posting clips weekly. Like if you're not taking clips and put like, how are you? I present myself every way possible on each one of my platforms. So like Twitter, obviously I'm unhinged. Instagram, I tend to keep that more of my like, here's my public figure side, and then when I'm live, you're just getting every bit of raw piece of me. So I feel like each piece of my social media platforms has a different like aspect of my life. Like there's some certain things that I'll share when I'm live that I probably wouldn't even talk about on social media or post about. So it's kind of like, you just have to be there.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of research, and I found another account that isn't on your link tree. And I just one picture in particular on there was
Mhm.
the dirt bike.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of writing when I was in high school. I'm from Seattle, Washington. So, you know, a lot of what's out here is rain, and with rain comes mud. So we get a lot of those. We've got a lot of trails. I absolutely loved it. It's still a big passion of mine. If I had a bike today, I would be riding.
I agree. That's me with motorcycles. But
Mhm.
with, you know, we mentioned DreamHack earlier. I
Mhm.
want to pick your brain about how that experience was, and you know,
Yeah.
getting to work with Kick, and what did you do particularly when you were there at DreamHack this
Oh,
year?
this last one, my very first one was actually at Atlanta, but in 2023. So I got
Mhm.
to go back to the same convention center this time. It was my second time, and I was so honored to be invited. I don't know if you've looked her up yet, but you'll have to. Serena Princess. She's an amazing creator. She's so hardworking. She's so smart. She's so beautiful. She put together this pitch kick, and she took it all the way home, and I was so lucky enough to be invited to be a part of that. So she did kind of a murder mystery mafia mix up, and each of us got, like, she did so much work into it. It was beautiful. We got to be on Kick's main stage. We each had, you know, our own characters. I was
Mhm.
Maleficent, so my entire facade was I to be bitchy, judgmental, and annoyed. So the whole time I was on stage, it was so much fun. I absolutely loved every second of it, and everybody that got to participate. They were all amazing, and we'd never ran through it. We'd never gotten in like a Discord call and like practiced or anything. We straight improved everything the day of. So great group of people. Kick was so supportive. It was really, really a truly amazing memory.
Yeah, she was Shigo, and then you had Alistair from Has Been Hotel, and then
Yes.
yourself. And I was doing my research, I was looking at the pictures, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, I have no idea what y'all are doing.
Yeah, it was really funny. So Serena had originally her own outlook for each character, but some of us had already had like Halloween costumes that we'd put together. So she was
Mhm.
so flexible and so kind. I was already going to go as Maleficent. So she just wrote my character in as Maleficent. She changed that for me. Amazing. She was so sweet. And then we had Wednesday. Oh my gosh, Hoofy played Wednesday, and she killed it, literally. Like, she did it so well. So obviously you had a good mixture of characters. We had a Kim Possible in there as well. That would be Honey. She did absolutely amazing. And it was so well done. I had no idea. All of us characters had no idea what was going to happen, how it was going to end. There was a doctor, the killer, and then something else. There was a third one. I don't remember. But yeah. I was shocked at how it like came out really well. I was like, was that really cringe, you guys? Like, was that weird? And they were like, you guys did so good. I was like, good.
Y'all were fucking playing Clue at a
A
convention.
hundred
That's
percent.
wild.
100%. We had a wizard. Our wizard actually, Jimothy, the guy that originally was supposed to play the wizard, which was Big Rich X. You guys should follow him. He actually got into a little bit of a car accident. He's
Oh,
okay. His car may not be on his way to the airport to Atlanta. So last minute, we found somebody, Jimothy. He hopped in and he played the part without even being prepared. I'm talking like morning of. He was like, okay, like I'll be there. And I'm like, wow. So for it to have come together as well as it did for the murder mystery, and you know, like that stuff, we had characters, like
yeah.
we had a backstory. I think everybody had two truths and a lie, and there was a lot that went into it. So
Yeah.
for the fact that it went as smoothly as it did with as many hiccups as we had, I was shocked with the end result. I had no idea that Alistair was the one that stole the power source. I said, what the? I didn't even see him take it. So
Of
good.
course, and anybody who watches Has Been Hotel, that just absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially season 2. Go watch it on Amazon right now. But um you know, there's a lot of a different, like a feel to it when you're, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
streaming compared to a live crowd. How did that feel, knowing that you didn't have any practice, you know, you guys are just kind of going off the cuff? How did that feel for you?
I can definitely tell you that I wanted to shit my pants probably about 90% of the way through that. Honest to God, if it was not for Cosmo, Alistair, he's also an amazing creator, amazing streamer. I probably would not have done as well. They were so, and keep in mind, like I just met these people for the first time in person, and he was absolutely my safe space up on that stage. Him, Wednesday, all of them. They were all so kind and so sweet. You know, we're all in the same position. We're all first time doing this. So it was definitely different to look out and see the people versus looking at my camera and looking at chat. So I can say it was nerve-wracking. And my mic, the little mic, like fell off. I don't think anybody caught it. I think I was smooth with it. But if you go back and you watch the VOD, I'm sure now that I've pointed it out, you'll be like, I managed to catch it without oh my God. I was shaking. I felt so bad. But no one noticed. I asked everybody, I said, did you see me drop that? They went, good.
When you got done, how many people came up to you and were like, oh my God, I've seen your content, or asking like, you know, how did you get as big as you are on Kick? Because you do have quite a big following.
I feel like I've accumulated that obviously through kind friendships, through people who I collab with. I share a lot of community members with a lot of streamers. I mean, most of us, when you get into a chat, you're like, oh my gosh, hey, I know you. Or like you see in the chat, hey, I know you. That's like my favorite thing. But after the performance, so like my big poofy like skirt thing that I had, which everybody was stepping on, I actually had somebody step on it on accident, and he like walked away and came back, and he's like, I stepped on your skirt. Can I follow you on Kick? I was like, yeah. I didn't actually have too many creators come up and ask any kinds of those questions, or too many people too interested once we were done, which totally fine. Everyone's there doing their own thing, but I definitely met a lot of amazing people. And I can say that there was a good amount of followage from the Kick pitch, just from posting it on Twitter. I can confidently say the streaming space on Twitter is probably the biggest place for being informed of what's going on in most people's communities, DreamHack, things like that. So most of the, Twitter sphere is up to date on everything that goes on. So when we posted about the pitch kick, I got offline follows while we were at the DreamHack. I did get some offline follows, offline subs. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The in-person contact, though, a lot of anxiety in the room, a lot of anxiety. Most people are too scared to approach. I myself am one of those people. Like I would see somebody I know and I'm like, never did I like go up to somebody and be like, oh my God. So I totally understand the anxiety of not being able to come up to someone and being like, so how did you get here?
Okay, so let me pick your brain a little bit about that. Why is that? Because I mean, I told you I came from a different sphere and now I went on my own, and I've never had that problem going up to, whether it be voice actors or anybody like that. What causes that anxiety?
Gosh, I feel like as a streamer myself, especially as someone who, as I may have the following, this DreamHack was my first time being invited as a creator. So they check their metrics, and they're very picky about who they do and don't let in. I wouldn't want to say picky, but they do pick people that are worthy and deserving of it. So the last couple of times I didn't actually end up going as a creator, and I can say the imposter syndrome is so real. It sucks to even say that, but like I said, it's very different to sit here and sit behind the camera and have my safe space, have everything that I use, everything I work with, versus being in person and in front of those people, like people that I watch on my screen. If I'm working and I've got Miss Savage pulled up, or we'll have Whittle Bears pulled up, or even some of my favorite smaller streamers that may not be as big, like it's crazy getting put in front of them, because then you're kind of like, ooh, like, oh my gosh, do I belong here? Should I even be here? So that I can definitely vouch and say, yeah, that imposter syndrome and that anxiety creeps in, and it's very powerful.
Do you have people that approach you outside of conventions? That has it ever happened once, at least, where somebody's like, hey, I've seen your content before?
I have actually, weirdly, because I'm an Advent 420 stoner, love that. So I've gone to some dispensaries, and one time in one of the dispensaries around my area, I went in and they were like, "Are you Thickles?" And I was like,
Maybe.
I was like, did someone send you to beat me up? Like, is this real? And they were like, no, like my boyfriend and I, we watch you. And I was like, So weird. It was so weird. It was the one time that's ever happened to me. The very first time anything happened to me, I was actually in a Call of Duty game and I was sniping and I see in the message bot and they're like, "Is that the real Thickles in my chat?" And I was like, "You know me? Like, what do you mean? Is that Thickles?" And they're like, "Yeah, we know you." So that imposter syndrome, like I said, it's so different seeing it here and then running into them while I was just trying to buy my weed. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's me. I actually autographed the back of a receipt. That was so weird because who am I? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you gonna do with it? Nothing. It's worthless. But hey, they asked and they got it. So
So you have the imposter syndrome, even though you have worked hard to build your community, which is fair. How do you handle people talking shit?
I mean, any kind of publicity to me at this point is publicity, whether it be positive or negative. I actually just started a riot on Twitter, I think yesterday, like the day before. It was an accident. I didn't mean for it to come off that way, but it got like 85,000 views. And it was like, I hate when men come up to me and say, "Can you cook?" And the response that I gave was, "Can you build a house? Fuck you." And I had, oh my God, I cannot tell you how many people, they're like, "Yeah, I can. So what are you making for dinner?" And I was like, "Whatever the fuck you're door dashing. I don't know." Cause I can't
Oh,
cook for shit. So I definitely set the world on fire yesterday. So I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's never, it'll get to me sometimes when I was newer, for sure. Sometimes some of the things that people would say to me would rub off on me wrong, or like I'd end the stream and I'd take it to bed with me, you know, and I'm like, God, like they really said that to me. But now I just kind of look at it like you're really sad and a little pathetic that you feel the need to go out of your way to talk shit about me. Whatever. Thanks for spreading my name though.
I love it. I love it so much. That's a wild comeback. God damn.
I mean, don't tell me to go make you a sandwich when I know Subway's down the road and they do it for a living. So
I love it. That's awesome. Do you have like a close knit group though? Because you, like you said, you have barely met some of these people for the first time.
yeah.
But how do you have a group of friends that you guys, bounce ideas off each other or help each other in any kind of way? Because content creation is hard, and the weird part
Yeah.
is even though content has been around since fucking Vine,
Forever. Yeah.
people still tend to think like it's a solo person's game, and it's not.
Oh, 100% it's not. And to be honest, the group of people that I've consistently worked with for the last 5, 6 years are not even creators. Like they don't stream. They mainly join me. One of them is my head mod, Waldo. I love him. He's my favorite person ever. He's so kind and he's so sweet, especially on the days where I'm just like I'm so tired, man. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to stream tonight. I'll get a text back. That's funny. I'll let them know that you'll be live at 6. Like it really is the village of people that aren't in it. They watch it. They don't partake in it. They don't have to sit and worry about is this entertaining? Is this going to be entertaining? They watch me. They've watched me for years. And sometimes some of them will come to me and just be like, "Oh my God, Thickles, that was so funny last night." And I'm like, "Really? Like, was it?" Because I can tell you right now, in all 6 years of me streaming, I have never once ever sat down and watched a VOD of mine. Not ever. Unless it's a clip or a highlight, I have never gone through and watched a VOD of mine because I want to vomit every time I hear my voice. It's just an insecurity of mine. I know it's not bad, but I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys watch that? Why are you watching me?" So it's so nice to have like people that are in my mod team or just my girlfriends. Like I've got girlfriends in town, girlfriends I've met through gaming that have just stuck by my side that whole time. And they'll let me know like, "Hey, that was weird. Don't do that again." Or "That was so funny. We need to make it a segment." Like they kind of just made themselves my team. So it was kind of like I feel like I picked the right people to surround myself with, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love that you say like, it's gross hearing your voice back. That's how I feel every time I have to edit a podcast. I'm like, I already know what
Yes.
I asked. I hate hearing it.
Yep.
And then my partner, she'll go, "Oh, so let's listen to your new episode." No, not at all. I don't want to do it.
Please
No.
don't. Please, no, please.
I
I'm the
hate
same
myself
way.
already.
I'm the same way because you sit there and I feel like you are your biggest critic. So like I will hear back something that someone pointed out to me. They're like, "No, Thickles, this was like so funny." And I'm like, okay. Okay. I've never intended to even be funny. I'll be so honest when it comes to my content and what I do online. I don't plan it out. I don't script it. I don't normally you can ask any one of my mods. 90% of the time, nobody knows what's going to happen until about 10 minutes before I go live. And I am consistently always late because I never know what I'm going to do that day. It is always a raw, just me. I don't stream for anything other than I enjoy being with my people when I'm, dealing with a hard case or I've got a hard day. Even before I was a paralegal, sitting down with my buddies, talking shit on the internet and just having a good time is all I ever wanted to do. And then I got to start sharing it with people who thought it was funny.
So is this like your escape from reality? Is just sitting behind the screen, entertaining people in a way you have no idea how you've been doing it, and just enjoying yourself?
At first, yes. And then there was this very cool moment where I guess was a very big shift in my confidence as a creator. I was, messy bun in my sweatpants, not doing anything. I was playing Modern Warfare 2019 with my group of pals, and I had somebody hit me up on either it was Instagram or Discord. I can't remember. It was years ago. But he hit me up and he said, "Hey, it is the first year anniversary of my child's death. I really just don't know what I'm doing. Can you stream? Can you just go live? I just need something to watch, something to take my mind off of it." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll go live right now." No hesitation, no nothing, didn't even change. Like most people, I'm like trying, putting makeup on, doing their hair, said, "No, dude, I got you." And it was probably the first legit successful stream I ever had on Twitch. It was kind of just like, wow. One person asked for me and I don't care if I'm streaming just to that one person. Fuck yeah, I'm going live. You want me there? I'm there. So
That is wild. That's insane. That
yeah.
breaks my heart. Holy shit.
Yeah. And then after the stream was over, all I got was, I can't tell you how much that meant to me. Like, just the fact that I could fill his night for the evening to just fill it with laughs, fill it with a distraction, or even just take his mind off of it for a mere 10 minutes. I'm your girl. I got you. I grew up with a fuzzy backstory that not most people would guess that I've had. So when it comes to streaming and knowing that I'm making people smile, or when I figured out, because Twitch used to do that thing at the end of the year where they could, like, your community, could vote. What did you love about this streamer? Were they super professional? Were they really funny? Like, is this a comedian stream? Like, or is this an art stream that, categories? And I got an email. I didn't know that they had the voting system. And I got an email and it was like, your community voted you to be the comedian. You're funny. Like, they love watching you because you're so funny. And I was like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I was a little offended at first. I was like, I said, they're laughing at me. Like, they're laughing at me. And then I had one of my mods explain it to me. They're like, "Megan, the faces you make are so funny. Like, people will just say some off the wall shit. Like, I swear to God, some dude said something about licking balls." And I was like, it was clipped. Chat instantly clipped it. I was like, "Oh my God, you guys are making me into a meme." So honest to God, I would not even be as confident or nearly as successful as I am if it was not for my community. They are absolutely 100% the reason I'm still streaming today.
Yeah, I saw a clip of you and I couldn't understand the context because somebody was talking while you were talking, but I just start seeing you just slapping around your mic and I'm like, okay, yeah, she does not take anything serious. This is going to be fun.
Okay, hear me out. So that was when I had the Shure M7B mic. I have the Beacon mixer and the Beacon mic now, but the XLR cable on my mic would just tweak out. And so the person probably talking over me was letting me know that my mic was like peaking or that it was fucked up. I could try every technological tool in the bag to fix this, and it would never work. Like I would just start talking and nothing would come out. So yeah, I beat the shit out of my mic and slapped it into submission. That didn't work. So now we have a new mic.
Well, I like that you say, you know, you have a fuzzy background that most people don't know. And I'm not going to ask you anything about it. I'm just going to say that tends to help genuine content creators, because there are parts of us that we don't like to talk about, and we would rather entertain people or make people smile, or no matter what it is. It also puts kind of a work ethic in you, because
Mhm.
you've reached a certain point and now you're like, okay, cool, I know what my limit is now, let's see where I can go from here.
100%. And I can say I'm a little different in that aspect. I'm an open book. I am absolutely transparent with anything about me and everything about me online. One of the things that I learned first and foremost stepping into content was you can piss one person off and they'll dig everything up that they can about you, and they'll spread misinformation. They'll come and say this, that, and the other about you. Oh, did you know X, Y, and Z about her past? You're not going to hear anything about me from anybody other than what came from me.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever asked a question or wanted to even know, I'm so open about it, because no one's going to tell my story besides me. Yeah, it's fuzzy, it's a little dark, but I am who I am despite everything that's happened to me. And I'm grateful for how I was brought up and the things that did happen, as sad and dark as some of them are, because I genuinely wouldn't be the person that I am today if I didn't have to go through it. So
Yes, and I mean, you have talked about it or hinted at it in certain parts, like on your TikTok.
mhm.
And you know, I saw the shift of content, but it always kept a confidence, or you made sure to let people know, like, hey, this is me. This is never going to change no matter what happened. I'm still me. And then there is a little bit of like the arrogant, and I do like it. And there's one video you did and it says, who would have thought I would have gone viral by just staring at the camera?
And of course that didn't work.
And I was
Of
like,
course.
okay.
I was like, okay, let's try a trend. This is why I don't do trends. They never work. So, I always try to keep it super raw. You'd asked originally like how I got my name Thickles, and I'd mentioned the pickles, and I showed you the tattoo. I hate pickles. Like I think they're fucking disgusting. If I get one, like you get a McDonald's burger, whatever, they don't take the pickle off. If I bite into that damn thing and there's a pickle up in my mouth, it's over. I'm not eating anything for the rest of the day. You've ruined my whole week. Disgusting. But nevertheless, I have it tattooed on my hip. When I was 2 years old, I was adopted, and I was adopted by a 62-year-old man and his 42-year-old wife. And they gave all of their kids nicknames. And my dad was the culprit. He had nicknamed one of the daughters Gidget. He had nicknamed one of his other daughters Goat. And I guess I looked like a Pickles. I was Pickles. So everybody, I'm talking like my dad was a quadriplegic. So we had in-home nurses that came. He was paralyzed from the neck down. And every single nurse, even to this day, I'll run into him like grocery shopping, Pickles. I'm like, oh my God. Like, no, I'm 26 now. And there's one of the nurses who, her and her husband run the rodeo in our county. And anytime I run into her or go to an event, she goes, how's my Pickles? I'm like, girl, I'm 26 years old. She goes, I don't care. You'll always be my Pickles. And I'm like, okay. All right. So
I love that so much. It's so ironic, which I agree, pickles are disgusting.
Thank
I
you.
can't do it. But it's funny to see that. And do you ever look back and just think of your life now and go, how did I get here?
Oh my gosh. I can confidently tell you that in the last 2 years, I have been shocked, because for most people and someone like me, I was not planning on seeing a sunrise or a sunset past 16. And then we got through 16 and I made it to 18. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not cut out for this. Was not planning on even, like, life sucks. When is it going to stop being me? And I'm definitely that person that will walk around and be like, oh, I can't do that because it would be just my luck. You know what I mean? Like if someone were to get caught, like it's going to be me. So I'm just not even going to, we're not even going to get into that. So,
And it's it's an interesting way to look at that because it also goes into, well, how did I get here? Or if anybody tells you, which I love when people say it, because I love to talk shit, is somebody says that must be nice. And
Ugh,
it's like, well, no, it took a lot of work and it took a
it's
lot of
a
struggle and it
lot.
took a lot of things to get here.
I've never ever been so happy in my life before, and it 100% has to do with my partner now. He is every bit of light and beam in my life that I never knew I needed. He literally supports what I do day in and day out. Like I work all day long, he works all day long. We don't get to see each other much, right? We get home, he's got a 2-hour window of seeing me, and normally around like 5:30, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm live. I'm
Mhm.
live. And we have a 1-year-old daughter and I have a stepdaughter. She's 3. And I don't share that. Like they're not a part of this.
Mhm.
They can choose to express themselves on the internet when they're old enough to understand what it is to means to do that. So I don't share my baby's face. I don't share their names. It's a very big thing for me. And so when I'm live, obviously dad's got him. And we've been doing this for 2 years now. He is so supportive. He loves the community. The community loves him. They love him more than they love me. I had somebody send me a message today and they said, "Can you show this to Daddy Thickles?" I said, "You're messaging me, message him." They're like, "No, I just need him to see it. I need him to see it." And I'm like, "You guys are so funny." So yeah, I can't say I vouch. I'm 26. It gets better. It gets better. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of healing, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of gotta put it up brick by brick. But man, just it was like one day my luck changed.
Yeah, I was doing my research and I saw him and I was like, "Oh, he'd be the friend that like everybody checks in on." Like he seems like the dude that everybody's like, "Where is he? Why is he not here?" That's the kind of
Oh
guy he
yeah.
seems like.
100%. And I've actually known him since we were about 11. We went to middle school and high school together, graduated from high school together. We were on and off friends for about 5 years. He was in a relationship and she really did not like me. It is actually the mother of his child now. And I can confidently say that today it things are so much better than they used to be. But they both had some rough times, and we were removed from each other's lives more often than not. So it would be like sometimes a yearly check-in from him, which was really hard for me, or like a 2-year check-in. So it's just kind of like I would get the, "Hey, I'm alive." I'm like, "Are you really though?" And then next thing I knew, we were blocked and I couldn't hear from him, and I just had to hope and pray that he was okay. But anytime and every time he knocked on my door, I opened it. I didn't care how long it had been. I didn't care how big the blow up was. He knocked on my door, and as much as I wanted to slam it in his face for the way that I got treated, I couldn't help it but open the door. Now, here we are 2 years later, and I have one of his babies.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that.
Yes. He's amazing.
It seems like it's been a long road for you, just no matter what. What I would say before your family, what motivated you every day? What did you want to be a paralegal or like what was the grand scheme?
I knew from a really young age, I actually wanted to be a behavioral analysis for the FBI in Virginia. That was something I really wanted to do because I really wanted to understand why people feel the need to do the things that they do. Why do
Mhm.
they feel the need to say the things that they say? I'm very analytical. I'm a very much a people watcher. It's really bad because my face doesn't tell a lie. And so sometimes like we'll be out in public and Mr. Thickles will be like, "Well, change your face. Change it now. Change your face." And I'm like, so the first original thing was to get out of high school and become a police officer. I went to college and studied psychology, criminal justice, child psych, all the fun stuff. And then I ended up getting injured and having a back injury, and I was no longer allowed to join the police task force because
Mhm.
you have to go through the academy and things like knee surgery. And I've had 2 knee surgeries, and back issues are something that they can't have on the force. So I left college, I didn't finish, and I was pretty depressed. I won't lie. I was pretty down bad, and I it was 2019, so it was the year before COVID. I was locked up at home. I was on LNI. I couldn't go anywhere. I was injured. It was hard to even move. I wasn't even allowed to drive. I had muscle spasms so bad that my legs would go numb. And I actually crashed my truck one time because it was the first time it happened that my legs went numb. And I thought I was pushing the brake, but I wasn't. Like I could not move them. So I gently, you know, and I wasn't allowed to drive for 6 months after that. So the year before COVID, I was locked up. And then COVID happened. And obviously we were all locked up in our homes again. So that span of 2 years was really, really, really rough for me. But I discovered Mixer. I accidentally went live on my Xbox because that was like, you know, the main platform.
Yeah.
And there was a little red dot in my screen. And I was like, there's like messages on my screen talking to my friend Nikki. I said, I don't know what any of this means. And she's like, let me look it up. And she like looked up Mixer and she's like, you know, you're live, like you're streaming. I said, what does that mean? The only knowledge I had at that point, because I played sports. I hated being at home. I was not a TV, like sit down. I did not watch YouTube. I had a boyfriend at one point who loved Roman Atwood. That was like the only bit of YouTube that I'd seen that I understood of like vlogging. Other than that, I consider me a boomer because I didn't know. And then I did my research and I looked up and I saw what Mixer was and I like got into, I was like, oh my God, like I can do this for my Xbox. Okay. Complete accident that I got into streaming. But once I figured it out, I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. There were so many challenges. There were so many spaces and ways to grow. There were so many ways to touch people's lives and to be there for them. All of my best friends, every single one of them, I can count on a hand. I met through Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or I met through Twitch.
So are you
amazing.
like just a first person shooter kind of girl?
I definitely love my FPS. Don't get me wrong. Man, have I got a lot of pent up rage. And as soon as I couldn't play sports anymore, Black Ops, Zombies, Call of Duty, that was where I went. And now that I've gotten a little bit to my softer side, I tend to enjoy things like Pummel Party with friends or like Party Animals, where I'm still raging. I'm still beating the shit out of somebody, but it's my friends this time. So I do a variety. There's a good variety, but mainly, yeah, I'm very competitive and I like to shoot things.
I need to see you play Peak. Have you already played Peak? I need to
Oh
see you
my
play
God.
Peak.
I've played Peak. I think I've gone live playing Peak a handful of times, but for the most part, I would play it offline with friends.
I need to see it. Or that new one that came out, RV There Yet, where you guys all have to get the RV up the mountain.
We did play that one night, and we made the horrible choice of letting our friend TJ drive the RV. Oh my God, that was so bad. And then I had obviously no idea what I was doing. I'd never played it before. The community actually requested I played it, and then my dumbass, I get in the RV and I use the bear spray. I did not know that it was one-time use. Okay, I was like, oh look, it's like, and not even 5 minutes later, here comes this bear, and they're like, Thickles, use the bear spray, and I was like,
I did.
I used it on TJ. I did. I thought it was gonna like mace him. Oh my God, it was so funny. We obviously did not finish it. We did not make it to the end, and we 100% lost the RV.
I love it. I love it so much because I like to see people that are kind of get out of what their specialty is and see it. I have a question. So, cross country or volleyball? Because you said you had 2 knee surgeries.
Actually, soccer.
Damn. Okay.
I did run track at one point in my life, middle school, but from, I want to say about the age of 4 or 5, probably around the time I could really run, confidently, my mom put me on the field. I suffer really bad still today as an adult from ADHD. So I have really high highs, like I'm super full of energy and I'm ready to go, 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 go. And then I'm like crashed out in the back seat, mouth wide open, taking the fattest nap ever. So whatever the season was, my mom always had me in a sport. There was no way she was keeping my ass at home. So I'd played soccer, basketball. Once I got to high school, it was tennis, soccer. I did cheer a little bit. That was a doozy. I did try out for the volleyball team, but I only tried out to see if I could do it, and I made it, and then I never went back. So I just wanted to see if I would make the team, and I did.
I love that you say like cheer was a doozy because you seem very very girly girl on your social media. You seem like you would be a like lifelong cheerleader, but when you said 2 knee surgeries, I was like, no, she's fought people. Like that has to happen.
Yes, yeah, and soccer was is and will always will be like the lime of my life. It genuinely is the sport that saved me. I have one particular and specific together. That's a new one. Write that down.
Specificular.
Oh, I'm terrible. His name is Paul, and he was my middle school soccer coach. And obviously, when I aged out and we got to high school, we played for the high school teams. He showed up to every single game I had in high school. He supported me. He knew that home life wasn't always, wasn't always good. It wasn't always fun. He would message me, "Hey, let's get out to the field. You want to pick up a ball? Grab your cleats. I'm on my way." Like, he 100% was that like advocate for me, and he just pushed me into the love that we both shared for soccer. And to this day, I tell him, "You saved my life. You absolutely saved my life." Because let me tell you one thing right now, ripping a bitch's ponytail and not having anybody do anything about it was so nice. So nice. And then, kicking people, shin guards flying everywhere. The older you get, I swear, not to rage on men's sports, but women's soccer versus men's soccer is 2 very different things. Like the ladies are ruthless. The ladies are ruthless. I can't tell you how much blood I shed from that sport.
I'm just gonna clip that part. Ripping a bitch's ponytail is perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
That's funny.
So it seems like you've always had a community, no matter what age you were, of people that just saw your potential and they're like, "Hey, we're not giving up on you, even when you give up on yourself."
100%. Yeah. I've always had the comment given to me, "Wow, you're really mature for your age," or like, "Wow, and I'm like, yeah, wonder why." Yeah. So I want to say that I was pretty much grown and had a good perception of reality by the time I was 7.5, maybe 8. Life took a very interesting turn because at 7 years old is when I personally found my dad dead in his bedroom. And I had to go grab my brother, and he had to perform CPR. Granted, my dad was born in 1932. Keep that in mind. And he adopted me in 2001, 2002, and he was 62 years old with a newborn. And again, quadriplegic. So he'd lived like 10 years longer than they'd ever anticipated. So I got my time with him, and then life was just not as colorful. Like birthday parties weren't as big. We didn't have a yard full for Christmas, anymore. Our Thanksgiving tables, we didn't need to put the leaf in the table anymore to extend it. Things just kind of faded for a while. So yeah, I grew up pretty quick. It's safe to say I grew up pretty quick.
I don't even know what to say to that, honestly, because it's an interesting way, but I mean, you overcame it and look at the life you have now. I mean, you got to do so many cool things. What is something else you want to do, before this year's over, or like within the first 6 months of next year, content wise or family wise or anything like that? What is a goal for you?
Honestly, I think the biggest goal I have is just remaining mentally intact. The jobs that I do are so demanding. Being a paralegal, working with the cases that I work with, we do a lot of family law, and so obviously it's filled with a lot of arguing. It's filled with a lot of people going back and forth, weaponizing children. It's a very dark job, but staying mentally intact and emotionally intelligent during that is a very challenging thing to do. I have days where I have to sit down with my fiance and just say, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I treated you that way today. Everything's getting to me. I'm working on these cases all day long. I'm only getting 2 hours with you, and then I'm right into my content. I'm right into stream." And so I love everything that I do. I love creating content. I love streaming. If I didn't get paid to do it, I would still do it. I don't care about how much money does or doesn't come from it. I love it. But yeah, the holding on to my mentality is going to be probably the biggest struggle I'll have the next couple of years.
I just like to imagine, you sit down and you're probably holding his hands and you're like, because he seems like just a great person from the stuff I've seen, and he's just smiling and he's like, it's fine, it's okay. He's your punching
Every
bag.
single time. Every single time. And I even tell him, I'm glad that you said the term punching bag. I said, I'm not gonna use you that way. I'm always gonna sit down and communicate with you. I'm so sorry that I've had a day like today. I'm so sorry that you've taken the brunt end of it. Like I literally just had lunch with my mom before this, and I texted her and I was like, I'm sorry I was so grumpy, because you're the way that you speak to people, the way that you treat the people in your environment, like they feed off of it. If I'm in a shitty mood, he's in a shitty mood. If he's in a shitty mood, I'm in a shitty mood. And we're very big on emotional communication in this household. And so when I know that it's just not a good day, we talk about it. If he's having a bad day and he's snapping at me, he catches it himself and he goes, I'm snapping at you. I'm really sorry. I just didn't have a good day. And I'm like, thank you for communicating with that with me, because now I know we're not 50% right now. And I need to be 100% and you need to rest, or vice versa. So keeping that healthy mentality while juggling so many different jobs and titles for both of us is probably the biggest goal that we have, not only as an individual creator, but just in the family.
I love to hear it. I do, because that's something I think a lot of people struggle with, especially when they're in relationships, or I mean, even if they're by themselves, is it's okay not to be okay.
Mhm.
You just need to talk about it. You need to be like, all right, cool. What's the next step? Do I
Yep.
need to just close the blackout curtains and take a nap, or what's going on?
One of the things that I've taken to heart during my entire journey as a creator is accountability. You would be probably not even shocked or surprised, but a lot of people will do a lot of mean things, a lot of shitty things, and then expect you to apologize for it and say, well, I only acted like this because you said this, or well, I only did that because you did this. So like accountability was huge and has been huge for me. And we both pride ourselves on it. It's like, if I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong and we're going to talk about it. If you're wrong and you want to sit and try to act like that's not what happened, I don't need you around me. If you want to lie to me, you can go lie to the mirror, because I don't deal with it. There's no need for it. Be forthcoming or don't be anything at all.
And you probably see a lot of that, in your day-to-day life. I work in the medical field. She works for the state in um near a rehab center, and we see it all the time. We see things like that. And I have very small patience for people like that, because I'm okay
Yes,
if
I'm the
my
same way.
friends, yeah, if when you have a group of friends, and this is why I keep mine small, is
Mhm.
I have no problem if somebody calls me out, but it's gonna
Right.
happen again. It's gonna be the
Right.
same way. Do you treat your group like that?
I will say that I've had a couple people we don't talk to. Like,
Mhm.
I don't associate myself with people who have been along and a part of my journey for a long time, because sometimes you can step over a line, and anybody will tell you I'm probably one of the most forgiving people ever. Like, I am probably, you could fuck me over 6, 7, 800 times and come back and communicate with me, and I'll be like, okay, cool, we're good. Like, take accountability. Let's talk about it. Fine. Then past that, like, once I had my daughter, I
Mhm.
realized that I can't tell her to do XYZ if I can't do it for myself. So
Mhm.
I've set a pretty high standard for myself. And if it's just not something or someone that needs to be in my life, I'm not shy of confrontation. I may sweat and shake during the entire conversation, but I am not shy from it. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Not in my house.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, as we begin to wind down, people have gotten to learn a little bit more about you. What is something that what is advice, or what is something that you would give to somebody who wants to start streaming, who's struggling with streaming, or, just somebody who just, may never get the chance because they're too afraid?
My biggest advice is, one, turn the viewer count off. Don't look at it. It doesn't matter. I streamed to myself for an entire year. It was just me, that little one viewer count. Um, we all start at the same spot. I can tell you right now, some of the bigger ones like Tim the Tap Man, Ninja, every single one of them, we all started in the exact same spot. So don't go trying to make content that you think people want to see. Don't go doing things that you don't enjoy. If you enjoy playing a specific game, play it. If you feel comfortable and confident in doing this, that, and the other, don't let somebody come to you and be like, oh, like you shouldn't do that. Be true to yourself when you're making your content, and do anything and everything that you enjoy. And I promise the right crowd and the right community will see you for who you are, and they will stay.
I love to hear that. And where can everybody find you?
My main platform is obviously on kick.com with Thickles. Where is it? I'm directionally challenged. It's this way. This thing right here. And I'm all over Twitter. Twitter's probably I yap. But I'm on Instagram as well. So those three main ones. And then of course Discord. I've got a big Discord community. So
ladies and gentlemen, this was my conversation with Thickles. I enjoyed it. I thought this was fantastic. I hope you had a lot of fun as well.
Thank you for having me, by the way. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was a little bit challenging. Both of our lives got a little bit busy, but it was worth it.
I agree.
And we will see each and every one of you in the next video. Bye, guys.